Over 300 became 24, 24 have become 8, and in 4 rounds, 8 will become 1. The climactic hour of a magical month begins now. One final time, the 11th Udaan Business Leadership Quiz throws its doors open to its participants and to its viewers. It's been a heady mix of joy and sadness, success and failure, and now the stakes are higher than ever. In some time here, we'll find out who will take the crown from Naveen Kumar of Sai Mitra Constructions and win the ultimate prize and earn the right to call themselves the champions of Udaan. Let's hear it from the current title holder, Naveen.
Hi guys, this is Naveen. I wish all the finalists of Udaan 2021 all the best. Let this be a learning experience. And last but not the least, let the best man win.
Thank you, Naveen. There was a quick little very important message. Let this be a learning experience. We look forward to an engaging contest. It is a fabulous occasion. The nerves will have to settle. For contestants, will have to gear up for some calm, collected responses to my questions. The fact that they hear is proof enough that they are good, but can they be better than the equally pedigreed rest? Taking you through this much awaited national final, I am your host and quizmaster for the day, Ajay Poonia. We'll begin the final by thanking our sponsors who ensure that Udaan comes back year after year. The Udaan Business Quiz is presented by Steel Authority of India Limited, National HRD Network Ranchi Chapter, and National HRD Network. Our associate sponsor is NTPC Limited. Our zonal sponsors are Tata Communications and SMS Group. And national prize sponsors, which is what our today's contestants are competing for, are sponsored by Hexagon and MD India. And zonal prize sponsors, UPRNNL and Sarvesh Refractory. Thank you to each one of you. All of our contestants today were pre-tournament favorites, but for them, it's business as usual. Please join me in welcoming on screen our 8-star quizzers, battling it out for the pinnacle of corporate quizzing in India. As participant 1, national runner-up last year and back again in the final to climb one step higher, a senior analyst at Ernst & Young is Ayush Awasthi. As participant 2, multiple-time national finalist, making it through by the skin of his teeth, a senior manager at Bokaro Steel Plant SAIL is Subhasish Wilfred Kispota. Next on the list with a best ever 3rd place finish, but that was over half a decade ago, and a familiar face at the finals year after year. From Kolkata, a project lead at Capgemini is Rabi Sankar Saha. As number 4, a multiple-time national champion, but the last victory coming back in 2017. So he's back again to reclaim the title. Senior manager at Rourkela Steel Plant SAIL is Sampad Mishra. Coming up next, a rookie at Udaan and qualifying by virtue of a fabulous slog at the finish in the West Zone final. State Resource Associate for IIM Ahmedabad is Shantanu Sharma. Also a first-timer at Udaan, but over 2 decades of experience in quizzing. Senior manager at Capgemini from Mumbai is Rajarshi Chanda. Penultimate participant is a familiar face at Udaan, having won twice and finishing runner-up once. A requirements go for business analyst at TCS from Chennai. Here to reclaim the title is Jayakanthan. And completing the starting list, a national finalist last year, a business process lead at TCS from Hyderabad is Kapinjal Chaudhary. On stage now, this play has assorted the finest cast, but they look relaxed, they look focused, but keep beaming those smiles. There's just so much experience under their belts. There is some unfinished business from previous editions, and there are scores to settle. But at this point, I'd like to invite the nucleus of Udaan, Dr. Kamakshi Raman, Executive Director, HRD, Management Training Institute, SAIL. She's also the President of National HRD Network, Ranchi Chapter. Ma'am, please.
Good evening to all of you. Warm welcome. So on behalf of Ranchi chapter, आप सबको हार्दिक स्वागत. आप सब जानते हैं 2011 में हमने बहुत छोटे तरीके से शुरू किया था उड़ान. So we are on the 11th year now. We were doing it all on physical mode till 2 years back, and we got our own strength to experiment on this virtual round. And last year we had a great response or encouragement हमको मिला. And this is the second year running when we are doing a virtual round. So when we started in 2011, we were very small, just about 26 companies from around Ranchi. And now it's a quiz which is really sought after by all of you quizzers. Congratulations to all the 8 of you. All of you are already winners. Being part of this national final itself is a great privilege. So I'm sure all of you are great in your own way. Imagine out of total 360 participants, just about 2%, 8 of you, 2% plus, you are all here. Final, हम जानते हैं अभी बहुत टेंशन होगा आप सब में. काफी टेंशन होगा. In a way, tension is good, but be calm, be composed, be cool. Play your game. अपना तरीके से, अपना original तरीके से मस्त से खेलो. Enjoy the game so that all audience who are watching you very keenly are also able to enjoy it. Natural game खेलो. अंत में जैसा भी last 4 rounds में हुआ था, it's all about 1 or 2 questions in the end. In a small margin, suddenly a question decides all the faith. So friends, enjoy कीजिए. जब इरादा बना ही लिया ऊंची उड़ान का, फिर देखना फिजूल है कद आसमान का. All the best, all of you. Over to you, Ajay.
Thank you, ma'am. Dr. Kamakshi Raman's message, I hope, will rouse the hunger to win today's competition. Apart from hagiographies and hymns to be written in honor of your achievements, here's what you're playing for. A win that gets you the bragging rights, puts your name under Naveen's in the Udaan Honors Board, and a prize of rupees 50,000 to go with it. And the winner's prize is courtesy Hexagon, our sponsor. And for the first runner-up, that immediately pumps you up to prepare harder and go one better next year, and a prize of rupees 35,000 to sponsor your Christmas and New Year celebrations, thanks to MD India. And to our audience who've gathered here watching us live, you can join in the action and be amongst the winners. How? Simply on Twitter, please follow National HRD Network @NHRDN. Listen to the audience question that I will be asking after every round. Please reply with your answer to National HRD Network @NHRDN on the same tweeted question along with hashtag Udaan 2021. It is very important that you do include the hashtag Udaan 2021. And there's, of course, gift vouchers for the winner. The fastest correct answer will be declared winner of that question. And every game, like we did in the previous episodes, previous shows, there's, even if you give the fastest correct answer on all the questions, we'll only declare you winner once. So we'll have 3 different winners in every quiz as audience winners. So Audience, you can play alongside. Now, gents, 4 rounds in this journey, same as the zonal rounds. Please get set for round 1. This round is called crossword. There are 5 questions on the buzzer in a crossword, 15 seconds of time per question. 3 buzzers will be permitted per question. Points first on the buzzer gets 10, second gets 7, third gets 4, and there's a flat -5 for a wrong answer on the buzzer. So please be careful that if you hit the buzzer, do not give me a wrong answer, for there are negatives attached to it. All right. Okay, then, if you're all set, here's the crossword that you're supposed to solve. We will go in order. It's now time to give yourself some early priceless advantage and grow in confidence. Here is question 1. What connects a campaign run by Hawaii's Fashion Guild that birthed Casual Fridays, a concept made popular in this book, referring to companies that unleash employees' initiative and responsibility by treating them as adults, and Goa today? What connects? 1 word, 10 letters. One of the regional rounds, zonal rounds, I did ask a question on the Hawaii Fashion Guild, and now I'm building up on it. Like, nobody's going for it. The nerves still haven't settled. So the answer that I was looking for, the 10-letter answer, is liberation. Operation Liberation is what Casual Fridays as a concept was called. Corporate liberation was coined in the book and made popular in the book Freedom Inc. by Brian M. Carney and Isaac Getz. And today happens to be, Goa completes 60 years of liberation from Portuguese rule. It's Goa's Liberation Day today. And so we're bringing this quiz live to you from Goa. So a self-tribute to where I belong, where I'm from now. So anyway, that was the answer. It is indeed liberation. Hard luck, no points to anyone. We've still just started out, so perhaps the nerves will take some time to settle. Let me place liberation in the crossword. We'll move on to our second question. It's a 6-letter answer, 2 down. On your screen now. This is from a collective work called Triumph of X Reimagined. Triumph of X is a well-known public sculpture where India's first commemoration of May Day took place. It showcases 4 men toiling hard to move a rock. What is X? On the buzzer first is Jayakanthan from TCS.
I'd say labor.
And what is Triumph of Labor?
Basically, it's a pro-union kind of thing. Masses, bringing together the masses.
Where do you find it?
There is a sculpture of this in Chennai, but I'm not sure if that's what you mean.
There's a statue of this in Chennai, but I'm not sure that's what I mean.
Yeah.
And you're participating in this quiz live from Chennai also.
Correct. Yes.
All right, that is Triumph of Labor in Chennai, absolutely, at the marina. Oh, he triumphed on that question with some relish. That's lovely. Jayakanthan starting out with a 10-pointer. Absolutely. This is indeed Triumph of Labor at the marina, commemorating every year. The May Day is commemorated here. That's well done. Jayakanthan begins with 10. We move on to our next question. But before that, I'll place it in the crossword. So we go 3 across. The third alphabet is B. It's a 7-letter answer. Here's your question. The use of this sculpture as a symbol in front of a shop that sold a particular commodity began in England in the early 1600s as ships from America began to bring back this commodity. The symbolism of the statues was because the source of supply at that time were Native Americans. What commodity is this? It's Jayakanthan on the buzzer again.
Yeah, this is tobacco. They're called cigar store Indians, or tobacco.
Tobacco, and they are called cigar store Indians. That is absolutely perfect. That's the answer. Back-to-back answers there coming from Jayakanthan. As he said, rightly pointed out, they are called cigar store Indians. Absolutely. Tobacco indeed gets Jayakanthan another 10-pointer. That's 2 10-pointers already. 3 questions in. We'll move on to the next one. Here's number 4. But before that, let me place tobacco. We go to 4 now. It's a 6-letter answer. on your screen. Similar to picketing, but having its origin in Hindi and yet listed in the Oxford English Dictionary, what form of labor or union protest was formalized by this gentleman when he was Minister of Labor in the government of West Bengal in the 1960s? And as a result, was known as the blank minister. The term was also used for the recent farmers' protest in North India. On the buzzer is Jayakanthan again.
Not sure about this. I'll say Gherao.
Say that again, please.
Gherao, Gherao.
Gherao as the Gherao minister is perfect. That's the answer. 3 consecutive back-to-back answers there coming from TCS Jayakanthan. This is indeed Gherao, and it is this minister was nicknamed Gherao minister since he formalized it. He is Subodh Banerjee from the 60s in the West Bengal government. Jayakanthan getting another 10-pointer there. Right, others really need to step up their game. We're done with the penultimate question of the first round. We move on to our final one. Just give me one moment. Teams, can you just press the buzzer once, participants? Just one moment. All right, participants, can you press the buzzer once? Okay,
you need to refresh.
Yeah, no, just showed me that it was disconnected for me. So I did not want to move on to the next one.
Yeah, it is red for me. So I did, so.
All right, one moment. All right, participants, can you press the buzzer one more time? Sorry, we'll just give me a moment. Now it should be fine. All right, one more time, participants, can you press the buzzer? Okay, so it's fine now. This is acting up. Just give me a moment. Okay, participants, one more time. Sorry about it. All right, great. We'll continue now. All right, let's move on to the next one. Just one more time, if you can test it, I just want to be sure. Can you press it again? Great. All right, so we're set. Okay, I've just changed my internet, so it should be fine now. All right, so we'll move on to the next one. Here's number 5. Sorry about the delay. We'll place Gherao. So now you have O, A, and E. Here's your final one. What was introduced by Xerox in a paper by Richard Leon titled The Blank Blank and an Architectural Methodology for Smart Digital Sensors? The final output was an angular element because they found that that was the best solution for low resolution screens of the time. On the buzzer is Jayakanthan again.
I'll say optical mouse.
You'll say optical mouse, and I will say +10. Absolutely, that's the answer, Jayakanthan. That's 4 out of 5 answers coming from Jayakanthan. He's taking a big early advantage. Like I said, it's time now to get a priceless early advantage, and looks like Jayakanthan's the only one who's paid heed to that. However, for the others, just one round in, but the anxiety in the room is hard to find the words to describe it. But you can tangibly feel it. It's the national final. Needs some spirited performance from all the others here. Although Jayakanthan, however, has built a huge lead already, but still is a game for anyone as 3 rounds are still to go. We move on now to our second round. This round is called Challengers Deep. there's one question to each participant. 10 seconds of time is what you will get to the others to hit the buzzer and present a challenge. We'll ask the first question to Ayush. Last question will be put to Kapinjal. And in the middle, whoever gets a direct question, if you give me a right answer, you take 10 points. But if there's somebody presented a challenge and you still want to give the answer, now you're answering for +10 and -10. If, however, you give a wrong answer, there's a -10. So please be careful. If you accept the challenge, only accept the challenge if you're absolutely certain of the answer. Otherwise, you're getting negatives. And the challenger, if you get a chance to answer, you're answering for +10 and -10 as well. And the other participants on the buzzer. So there's one challenger and two on the buzzer for +5 and -5 to the others on the buzzer. The first question will be a direct to Ayush. All right, Ayush, can we have everybody pressing the buzzer once? Thank you. All right, it's working fine. So Ayush, if you're ready, please unmute Ayush. Everyone, please keep that in mind. If it's your direct question or if it's a question where you hit the buzzer, do not take too much time in unmuting yourself. If you take too much time, I might just move on. So didn't take too much time. Okay, Ayush, here is your question, the first one of round 2. Everybody else on the buzzer. This ventriloquist dummy was used by X in his innovation. Why? The lights for the experiments were so hot, he couldn't use human for his tests. He began experimenting with imaging systems in the 1920s. And by 1924, he successfully transmitted outline images over wires. And by 1925, he was able to transmit recognizable human faces. Who and what experimental work? Two-part question there, Ayush. There is challenge coming from TCS, but this time from Kapinjal. Ayush.
I'll answer.
All right, your answer for +10, -10 is?
So this is John Logie Baird, and the invention is television. So early television sets.
Is perfect. Absolutely, that's the answer. And this was the spooky bill. This dummy was called the spooky bill. So instead of using humans, he used a dummy, which was the spooky bill. John Logie Baird, the famous innovator who invented television imaging. So this is how he started out. Well done there, Ayush, gets you a +10. Kapinjal was interested as well. So were the others, but it doesn't pass to anybody else because Ayush lapped up on that opportunity and gets a +10 as a result. We move on to the second one, that is Subhasish. Subhasish, if you're ready. Subhasish, can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, here's your question. Two-part question. The 251st X was the last one that brought an end to a approximately $34 billion program, which had 50% being sold to the same buyer, including the last one. It seems the pandemic was the last straw, as X's biggest competitor, Y, will stop production next year as well. While Y had a run of over half a century, X was launched at an unfortunate time as the world was then reeling under the SARS pandemic, followed by the global financial crisis that led to poor demand for it. What are X and Y? Think about it. Take about another 5 seconds, Subhasish. There is nobody presenting a challenge. I need both parts. If anybody is interested in the answer. Right, nobody is interested in presenting a challenge, Subhasish. What is your answer? For no negatives, 10 points if you're right.
No, pass.
Nothing? Don't want to take a guess either?
No.
All right, we'll wait 2 seconds. Looks like nobody is presenting any interest in this one. So the question says, it seems the pandemic was the last straw as X's biggest competitor will stop production as well next year. The biggest buyer is one from the Middle East. That is.
Can I take a non-comp guess?
Yeah, sure, please, Rajarshi.
Yeah, I think this is the Airbus A380.
And the competitor?
The competitor is Boeing, which was making the Dream Light. No, the competitor was Boeing, Airbus's competitor.
So are you saying Boeing will shut shop next year?
Boeing stopped the Max, the 737 Max, or which one was under controversy. I could not remember the second part.
All
so
right,
I
wouldn't have given you points. So if you can't give me the second part, but you're almost there. This is A380 and 747. right? So A380 and 747. Good answer, Rajoshi. Almost 99% of the bit you did, except the 747, right? So this is Airbus A380. Fly Emirates has bought almost 50% of it, and now they're shutting shop, Airbus, with their A380 program. And even 747, they announced 2019 that they will shut shop, and clearly they're doing that next year as well. So this is A380 and Boeing 747. We'll move on to the next one. That's number 3 in the list, and that's from Capgemini, Rabi Sankar Saha. Rabi, if you are ready.
Yes, I am, Ajay.
Okay, I'll show you a visual first. So you can take a look at the visual, but just wait for the question anyway, because there will be a question coming. But feel free to hit the buzzer, others, if you want to, just by looking at the visual. But I'm not looking at identifying the person in the visual, but there's something that connects to it. So you still have to take a name, but not of the person in the visual. Okay, here's my question. Right. Here's the question now. Siaram's clothing line, J. Hampstead, came up with an ad campaign in 2000 starring a celebrity who had just landed in India. However, thanks in part to this London-based Indian businessman, whose visual you saw, their campaign flopped abruptly in a disappointing manner. They quietly withdrew the advertisements, but not before his face had been smeared with black paint across billboards. Who was the celebrity and why did the campaign fail? You don't have to identify the person you saw in the visual. Okay, you have to identify the celebrity and why did the campaign fail. There is a challenge coming from Sampad from Rourkela. So, Rabi, what do you want to do?
I want him to answer.
All right, Sampad, what's your answer for +10, -10?
Just a guess, actually. Is it Hansi Cronier? Due to that booker who exposed him with betting and all.
So what was the issue with Hansi Cronier? What do you know about Hansi Cronier?
Match fixing was the issue.
And who was the person in the visual?
This middleman exposed him with some stint operation or something. So this businessman was caught and his name was exposed.
And who's he?
Sorry, I don't know that.
Why did that campaign fail? Because of that, that booking.
No, but who's the person in the visual?
That middleman who was giving him money or something.
Do you have a name, Sampad? Do you have a name?
And I don't have the name.
He came to India. He was extradited to India. He is Sanjeev Chawla, but that's not the part of the answer that gets you points. What gets you points is Hansi Cronier's fixing scandal. Absolutely. That's the answer. Well done there. Sampad gets you a +10 on the challenge. Very good. 10 points there to Sampad. Next question is to Sampad. Also, Sampad, back-to-back opportunities to score tenors. Sampad, if you're ready, please unmute.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Or you want to just bask in the glory for a while for giving that answer? I'll give you 2 seconds. No? Okay. Okay. Right, Sampad, get ready now. Here's your direct 2-part question. This is the royal warrant of Yardley, London. While their reincarnated avatar has been around for 250 years, Yardley claims to have originally been founded in mid-17th century when it owned 6 royal warrants. But unfortunately, any record of the company's original avatar was lost. How or why and which health and beauty company now owns it? You have challenge coming, Sampad, from Kapinjal. What do you want to do?
You want both the part from me?
Say that again.
You want both the part of me from me or
yes, of course, both parts. Quick, take a decision.
Any record of the company original was lost. How and why?
Okay, Sampad, I'm moving on to Kapinjal.
Okay, I will answer.
You'll answer for +10, -10.
Okay, I'll reject. I will give it.
Sampad, you have to be more certain than that. All right, Kapinjal, what's your answer?
So basically, what happened, so during the 17th, that century, the Great Fire of London happened, and so their original logo and everything was lost. And now, which health concern Wipro India basically owns the company now.
Can you give me your 2 parts again instead of all that explanation, please?
Why is this, the Great Fire of London is the answer of the first part, and Wipro is the second part.
is correct. Absolutely perfect there, Kapinjal. That's the answer that I was looking for. This is indeed Great Fire of London and indeed Wipro. Absolutely. That's well done. Kapinjal gets you a +10 and registers your presence on the scoreboard as well. That's very good, Kapinjal. 10 points to you. Next question will be a direct to Shantanu. Shantanu, if you're ready.
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, here's your question. Look at the visual first. The question follows. So you have to look at the gray part. Right. Focus on the gray part. That's one part of the answer. And now my question. In the early 90s, a researcher at a college in Massachusetts wrote a widely cited paper about the cost of a certain practice at a festival. He calculated it to be between $4 to $13 billion in the US alone. And he titled the paper The XY of Z, where XY, the gray region in the pic, is generally defined as a measure of economic inefficiency created by lack of market equilibrium due to, for example, taxes or subsidies. The reason he gave for XY during Z is that purchase decisions are made by someone other than the final consumer. So my question is, what is the paper titled? It's titled XY of Z.
Can I answer right now?
No, hold on. Wait 3 seconds. Well, now you can without the fear of negatives.
Yeah, so the paper was called Deadweight Cost of Christmas. So people have this habit of buying gifts for other people. And usually the people who we are buying for don't value our gifts as much as the cost of that gift is. So it ends up being loss. That's a deadweight loss of Christmas gifts. That's the paper called Deadweight Loss of Christmas Gifts.
I couldn't have got an answer better than that. Absolutely brilliant there, Shantanu. Very good. This is indeed the deadweight loss of Christmas. The region, when you see introduction of taxes or subsidies, the market equilibrium does not occur, right? Because there is intervention due to taxes or subsidies, and as a result of which there is a deadweight loss, right? Which is what it justifies, because the final customer of a gift is the final consumer of the gift is not the one making the purchase decision. So there is a deadweight loss of, as he estimated back in early 90s, $4 billion to $13 billion, right? So there's Christmas coming. Tribute question for that. Well done. Very well answered there by Shantanu. Absolutely perfect. Nobody seemed to be presenting a challenge on that one. So looks like you would have been the only one to get it. And you did. Very good. 10 points. Next question to Rajarshi. Rajarshi, you'll have to unmute. All right, Rajarshi, here is your question. Here's number 6. About 15 minutes later, a tall man in a blue suit walks by us and says he overheard my conversation and had some projects for me if I needed money. He was teaching accounting at Portland State University to make some extra money himself. So I worked on charts for him for a presentation for executives who are coming from Asia. Later, I worked on posters and flyers. Who's the person quoting here, or who's being quoted here? And what assignment did the tall man in blue suit offer the speaker for which she charged $35? You have a challenge coming from Kapinjal from TCS.
Oh, I will answer.
You will answer for +10, -10.
Yes.
Rajarshi, what's your answer?
Yeah, the person in question is Caroline Davidson.
Okay.
And she designed the Nike swoosh logo for which she was paid $35.
And who's the tall man in blue suit? Rajarshi is wearing a blue suit as well, but that's not the answer. Something else.
Yeah, is that part of the question?
No, but I feel like asking.
I think that's Phil Knight. No, I think that's Bill Bowman. That's
Okay, I take first answers only. It was Phil Knight. That is indeed correct. Carolyn Davidson and the swoosh logo. Absolutely perfect. So that's the origin. That's the story of how this student at Portland State University in Oregon designed the logo of Nike and charged only $35 for it. So that's well done. But of course, she herself claims that, Nike's treated her well. They've, have celebratory occasions where they've specifically invited her and all of that. So all that is something that Nike's done over the years. That's well done, Rajarshi. Gets you a +10. Absolutely well done. Right, next question. Here's number 7, and that will be for Jayakanthan from TCS. Here's your question. Everybody else on the buzzer, 2-part question. This Brigadier General of the US Army is remembered for being the founder of a certain European business school in 1957 and for being the father of something, for he founded the American Research and Development Corporation. Please give me both parts. I don't need you to identify him. Just tell me the 2 contributions of his that I'm asking for in the question. There is a challenge coming from Rabi. Jayakanthan, what do you want to do?
I'll let Rabi answer it.
All right, Rabi, what are your answers?
This is INSEAD and this is George Dorowit. Okay, he's the father of venture capital or private equity PIF and things like that. So American Research and Development Corporations is considered to be first private equity firm or venture capital firm kind of things.
And did you give his name as well?
George Dorowit.
Is absolutely perfect. Rabi knew everything about the question. This is indeed INSEAD in France, and he's known as the father of venture capitalism, and Rabi gave the name as well. Absolutely brilliant. Gets you a +10 on that. Rabi, you didn't score on your direct, but you score on Jayakanthan's direct. Very good. Gets you a 10. Now, final question to the other participant from TCS. It's going to be Kapinjal. All right, Kapinjal, if you're ready, please unmute.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Here's your question, the final one of the second round. 2-part question. Look at the visual first. If this is the PayPal mafia and the Flipkart mafia, just look at it first. Okay. Now, tell me, spawning from what cryptocurrency entities are these companies? I'll give you a larger visual if you want. Spawning from cryptocurrency entities are these. There is a challenge coming from Subhasish. Kapinjal, what do you want to do?
I will just,
Quick, Kapinjal, or I move on to Subhasish.
I would like to answer, okay?
You will answer. Your answer for 10 points and minus 10.
Yeah, Ajay, if I, okay.
Say that again.
So my answer would be Ethereum mafia.
That's one. And what's the other?
Oh, you need both per se. One is Ethereum and one is Bitcoin.
Ethereum and Bitcoin. I'm afraid, Kapinjal, that's a minus 10. Question passes to Subhasish from
Mine
Bukaro.
was also the same guess. Ethereum and Bitcoin.
Ethereum and Bitcoin. I'm afraid, Subhasish, that's a minus 10 to you. Question passes to Ayush from Ernst & Young.
I'll say Ethereum because of Vitalik Buterin, and this could be Coinbase.
Say that again.
Coinbase and Ethereum
Is perfect. That's the answer that I was looking for. This is Ethereum mafia and the Coinbase mafia. That's a minus 10 to a couple of you, minus 10 to Kapinjal, minus 10 to Subhasish, but a +5 to Ayush. Absolutely. That's the answer that I was looking for. Very good. Right. That brings us to the end of the second round as well. It is agony. It is the rule of quizzing before the ecstasy, if it is to come. And there has to be a period of agony before that. So a couple of them getting negatives on that one. Before we move on to our next round, there is an audience question. Now, my question for the audience. This spice, since exported from China, people of Hormuz called it the wood of China. In India, the name got slightly corrupted and persisted. So the Hindi name of it sounds like a Chinese lentil preparation. What is the spice? Tell me the name of the spice. Head to Twitter. The very same question where we've tweeted. Please give your answer. And there are some gift vouchers waiting for you. Right, we'll wait for about 10 seconds for you to come back. Then we'll continue in the second half. Right, Let's take a look at the scores. After the end of 2 rounds, some power pack quizzing there. Starting with participant 1 from Ernst & Young, Ayush at 15, Subhasish with that negative at -10, Rabi from Capgemini at 10, Sampad from Rourkela at 10, Shantanu from IIM Ahmedabad also at 10, Rajarshi at 10, Jayakanthan got an early lead, is at 40, got nothing in this round, so he maintains his score at 40, and Kapinjal with the correct answer and then a wrong answer goes back to 0, right? So 40, 15, 4 of you at 10, 1 at -10 and 1 at 0. So those are the scores halfway into the quiz. After that imaginary halftime whistle, it's turning out to be an engrossing, undulating, entirely absorbing final day. We will now move on to our third round. This round is called How's That? Participants, you'll be paired in descending order of your scores. So, because that's just how cricket is played, there are 2 teams playing against each other. We have 8 of you, so we'll play 4 matches in all. First match will be between Ayush and Jayakanthan. Second match will be between Rabi and Sampad. Third match will be between Shantanu and Rajarshi. Shantanu and Rajarshi playing the third match. And the final one will be between Subhasish and Kapinjal. Right, so that's just how we'll play, and that will also be the order of the matches that we'll play. How it works is very simply, one of you is a batter, one of you is the bowler. The bowler, amongst the given topics, the bowler picks a topic for the batter. Batter gives the right answer, gets 10. Batter does not give the right answer, waits for the bowler. The bowler gives the right answer, bowler gets 5, batter gets -5. But if bowler doesn't answer, neither one of you get negatives. Question passes to 3 others on the buzzer in the order. First one, second one, and the third one in the order of pressing buzzers. Each one of you are attempting for +5 and -5. Please ensure that you lock your buzzers in the first 15 seconds, which is the time available to the direct participant or the batter in question. After that, the bowler becomes the batter becomes the bowler, and that's the second innings of the match. Right, let's take a look at the topics. These are the topics that we're playing for. Ayush, please pick a topic for Jayakanthan. Both Jayakanthan and Ayush, you don't need to press the buzzer.
Digital ads.
Digital ads. Jayakanthan, if you're ready, please unmute.
Yes.
Here's your question. These ads, which lets an advertiser show 2 or more images or videos in a single ad, are called by what name shared with an amusement ride? Jayakanthan, you can give an answer whenever you're ready.
Yeah, I'll say carousel.
You'll say carousel. I will say +10 to you. Absolutely. That's the answer. These are called carousel ads. Well done, Jayakanthan. Gets you a 10 on the direct. Now, Jayakanthan, we move on to second innings of your match. You get to pick a topic for Ayush. Jayakanthan, what should Ayush play?
I'll choose brand identity conflict.
Brand identity conflict. Ayush, this is a question for you. Everybody else on the buzzer. Named after one of Israel's finest exports, what McVitie's brand battled the UK VAT tribunal about its classification as a cake or biscuit? Finally, it was named cake, although it can still be found in the biscuit section of retail stores. What McVitie's brand? Four seconds, Ayush.
Are these the Jaffa cakes?
Are these the Jaffa cakes? Why would you say that?
Just, I mean, if from Israel, I don't know only such kind of product.
What in Israel is Jaffa?
So it's named after city. So,
Israel's finest export.
yeah, I mean, it's named after a city in Israel.
Okay, so they're exporting a city.
No. So the cakes, the cake is the export. So Jaffa cakes is the full name.
So Jaffa cakes is an export from Israel.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what you're looking for. Yeah, so I think this is the conflict, sir. Whether to
But
put Jaffa
Ayush,
in.
I'm not giving you points. That is the answer. But I'm not giving you points. That's like really sketchy there. This is Jaffa oranges as the export from Israel in question. That's, I'll use Quizmaster's discretion. That clearly looks, you can't be just saying an answer. That was really sketchy, Ayush. I'm sorry about it. I needed you to give me more than that. If you would have given me more than that, I would have given you points. Export as a city, Jaffa cakes from Israel. No points there. Ayush, we'll close the question here. So participants, sometimes I'll ask for more, right? So I've been asking for a lot, even though that doesn't get you points, but I still ask for it if it doesn't satiate my desire for extracting answers from you. You can't just be giving me an answer and we have no clue about what is being asked, right? So you have to be better than that. Although I understand that you've given me the answer, but I'll use my discretion here and not give Ayush any points. We'll move on to the next question. Next match will be between, who's next? There were two of you on 10. So that's Rabi and Sampad. Both of you are on 10 points each. So I'll ask Rabi to pick a topic for Sampad.
I will say fashion line founder.
Fashion line founder. All right, Sampad, if you're ready. Sampad?
Yeah, ready.
All right, here's your question. Sampad, your audio is generally very low. So when you give an answer, I'll request you to be a little louder than that. All right?
Okay.
Here's your question. The idea for a fashion line was planted in her head after meeting Elsa Schiaparelli, an Italian fashion designer. The operations began in 1933. The clothes she designed were meant for active living, which reflected her own lifestyle. However, her brand failed to take off. Which adventurous American women's venture was this? Who's the lady in question, Sampad?
Ajay, I need not to press buzzer. No, it will come.
Rabi, please wait.
Yeah.
Your time is up. Sampad, no answer. Question passes to Rabi.
This is Emilia Earhart.
Say that again.
Emilia Earhart.
What do you know about her?
She's the person who took the flight, transatlantic and lost, and then never found out.
Is correct. That's the answer. That is indeed correct, Rabi. This is indeed Amelia Earhart. Gets you a +5 and a -5 to the batter. That is Sampad as a result, because you missed this question. So Sampad gets a -5. Rabi gets a +5. Rabi, like I said earlier, please don't be interrupting in the middle of a question. All right. If you have doubts, ask before or after. Certainly not in the middle of a question.
Yeah. Okay.
So you play as per whatever you think is appropriate. But if you have a doubt, you ask before. Sampad, you can pay back Rabi by doing the same to him. You pick the topic. If he doesn't answer, comes back to you. So Sampad, what is the topic Rabi should play? Rabi, please unmute.
Yeah, brand tagline.
Brand tagline. So Rabi, this is a question for you. You're direct. You're the batter here. Which tagline that completed 50 years this year was coined by then 23-year-old copywriter at McCann, while its essence remains intact, empowering women to celebrate their beauty? It has seen some tweaks in its pronouns over the years. What tagline is this, Rabi?
This is "You Are Worth It" by L'Oreal. You are worth it.
And so what tweaks in the pronouns have you seen?
There were a couple of versions like "You Are Worth It" because you are worth it kind of things. Okay, so this is by L'Oreal, and then they have tweaked on a couple of words here and there.
So like what words have they tweaked?
I am worth it. You are worth it. Like that.
I'll give that to you. So L'Oreal's "Because We're Worth It." So now it's called "Because We're Worth It." When it was coined, it was called "Because I'm Worth It." And in the middle, for a long period of time, it was "Because You're Worth It," right? So those are the pronouns that they've changed over the years. You said a couple of them, I'm and your. That's fine. Good answer there. Rabi gets you a +10 as the batter. Well done. That's the end of match 2. We move on to match 3. I will go to, who do I go to next? Shantanu and Rajarshi, is it? I think, yeah, Shantanu and Rajarshi. All right, so Shantanu, please pick a topic for Rajarshi.
I'll choose India at the Asian Games.
India at the Asian Games? So this was a question I wanted to have at the South Zone, but none in the South Zone decided to pick this. So I brought it here. You still have to deal with it. All right. Here's your question. In India at the Asian Games, Rajarshi, please unmute. Your question. What is the missing name in this congratulatory tweet by the then Minister of Sports? I've given you a larger visual that was there, posted by Rajyavardhan Rathore, who was then the Minister of Sports during the time the 2018 Asian Games were played. Who's he congratulating? Who's missing? The bridge team.
Yeah, can I have a larger visual of the?
I've given you a larger visual on the left. That's the group. He's congratulating one of them. I mean, he's congratulating all, but a name is missing.
Yeah. So, can I answer?
Yeah, please.
This is Mrs. Murli Deora.
Is incorrect. Passes to Shantanu.
The missing person is Kiran Nadar, wife of Shiv Nadar. She is a seal founder.
Is correct. That's the answer. This is Kiran Nadar, who's also a pro at bridge, represented India at the bridge in Asian Games and won bronze as well as part of the mixed team. That's well done. Shantanu gets you a +5 on that. Rajarshi gets you a -5 on that. But Rajarshi, you can claim those points if you can.
Should I get 5 or 10? I should get 10.
No? 5. When bowler answers, bowler gets 5, batter gets -5. All right. So effectively, it's a 10 for you if you're only competing with Rajarshi in this match, which you are. Right, Rajarshi. Now you get to decide. You can pay him back in equal measure. Pick a bouncer, pick a Yorker or a googly, whatever.
I will go for the correct question.
All right, a connect for you, Shantanu. Derived from Greek for imagination, what business? So tell me the common business for all these companies. You don't have to individually identify them for the moment, but you can tell me what is their common business. What business are all these companies in? Your time is up, Shantanu.
Yeah, I am answering.
What is your answer?
I think these are all part of fantasy leagues. So these are all different teams. So Imagination, Fantasia, the fantasy league that we that's the sport would be football, and fantasy league would be the overall connect.
Can you identify any of them?
So FM stands for Football Manager, I think.
Okay, and what else?
I mean, I know FM only. I'm going by FM, and I'm going with Imagination and Fantasy as idea.
So your answer is fantasy. They're in the business of fantasy.
Fantasy league in football.
All right, that's incorrect. Passes to Rajarshi.
I was actually thinking on the same lines, but because it's imagination, I will say Disney.
Okay, which one of these is Disney?
What are called Imagineers? They're doing business with Disney.
All right, that's incorrect. No negatives to either one of you. Question passes to Kapinjal from Team.
So basically these are all fantasy leagues. I identify Hala Play. Hala Play is there. So basically they are like Dream 11 types. These are all fantasy leagues where you can play, where you can bet basically. Not betting exactly, but like Dream 11, Circle 11 and all those. So Hala Play is a second one, if I'm right.
Okay, so what kind of fantasy is this? Because that's what Shantanu also said.
Like sports, like all kinds of sports, right?
So how does it work?
The way you get to a selected team, and if your team does well, you get the share. Okay, the share of money.
Right, that's the answer that I was looking for, Kapinjal. Of course, when I said imagination, it has to be fantasy, but it's not fantasy football or anything like that. That wasn't Football Manager either. So these are all fantasy gaming apps, essentially. So like Player Spot, like one Kapinjal identified is Hala Play, Blitzpool, Ballebazi, Fan Mojo instead of Football Manager, what you said. And perhaps the most identifiable of the lot, one from the house of Paytm First Games. Right, so that's well done. Kapinjal gets you a +5. and nothing to either Shantanu or Rajarshi. Now we move on to the final match of this round. Will be played between Subhasish and who's left?
Kapinjal.
Kapinjal, right. So Subhasish, you'll have to pick a topic for Kapinjal.
McDonald's.
McDonald's, Kapinjal, here's your question. Everybody else on the buzzer. Back in 2017, McDonald's China changed its name to Jingongmen. The change occurred when it ceased to be a wholly owned subsidiary of the US fast food giant. McDonald's does this when it sells local franchises in various countries. It's called Arcos Dorados in Latin America. My question is, what do both of them translate to in English?
Okay, so I will answer, right?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. So I know, like, I'm just guessing. Okay, so so McD's logo is basically a golden arch. So does it mean that the golden arches, Jingjong maybe in Mandarin and Arcos Dorados in Latin, I think both mean the same. Golden arches.
Is correct. That's the answer, Kapinjal. Absolutely. It's the identity of McDonald's, which is golden arches. That's what it means. Kapinjal, well done. Gets you a +10 on the direct as the batter. And now you're the bowler. We move on to the second innings of this match. Please pick a topic for Subhasish.
Currencies.
Sorry, say that again, please.
Currencies.
Currencies. Subhasish, your question. Everybody else on the buzzer. At present, only Mauritania and Madagascar have currencies which have a particular quirk. The rupee and the pound have had this property at some points of time, but both India and Britain made modifications to their currencies to fix it. J.K. Rowling intended the currency system of Harry Potter universe to be a satirical take on this aspect of the pound. What aspect or quirk is this? Subhasish? About these two currencies?
Pass.
Nothing. Passes to Kapinjal.
No idea. I'll pass.
Nothing. Passes to first on the buzzer. That's Jayakanthan.
Yeah, these are the only non-decimal currencies. So, like shilling, as in it's not 100, it's not divisible by 100, or it's not divisible by, it will be like 16 subunits of a currency. Like shilling, the pound used to be 20 shillings, just like an odd number used to be very difficult to divide the number and all that. Yeah, something like that.
How about rupee?
Rupee used to be the pi system, right? Where you had like an odd number of pies. It wasn't 100 pies for a long time.
And what about Harry Potter universe?
Harry Potter, I'm guessing this is the fictional currency in this thing, which is like a, as a joke on the pound having these random numbers. It was also not a decimal currency.
Is perfect. That's the answer. Good answer there. Jayakanthan gets you a +5 on that. Well done. Right. So this is non-decimal currencies which do not use decimal system and makes calculation, I'm guessing, pretty tricky for the residents of Mauritania as well as Madagascar. So one Malagasy Ariari is, all right, I'll spare myself the struggle of pronunciation, but you understand the concept, right? So they don't have decimalized currencies. Like India had the Anna system, 16 Annas, 1 rupee, right, which was further subdivided, as Jayakanthan said, into the pies and all of that. Well, and Jayakanthan gets you a +5, brings an end to the third round as well. And we'll take a look at the next audience question. So audience, here's my question for you. Tokyo's Shinjuku has a busy railway station, a thick concentration of office buildings and shopping malls. A certain larger-than-life personality has regularly visited the area since 1954. Shinjuku made him their official tourism ambassador in April 2015, and Japan granted him honorary citizenship in June 2015. My question is, who am I speaking about in Japan? An honorary citizen of Japan, first time visited Japan way back in 1954. So head to Twitter on the very same question that we've tweeted at NHRDN. Please send in your responses alongside the hashtag Udaan 2021. We'll wait and then we'll start with the third round. So quickly come back. Right, let's take a look at the scores now. So just when you thought it is going to be a dreary, mundane, shoulder drooping home stretch of the race after Jayakanthan was quick off the blocks, upping the ante are both Shantanu, Kapinjal as well as Rabi, who've done very well for themselves in the previous round. However, it's Jayakanthan who's still leading with a score of 55, Rabi at 25, Shantanu at 15, Ayush also at 15, Kapinjal at 15, and then we have Rajarshi and Sampad at 5, and Subhasish still maintaining his score of -10. And now we're all set for the final round. This round is called Triple Trouble. 5 questions on the buzzer, 15 seconds of time. 4 of you will be allowed to give the answer. All 4 of you, if needed, will have the same options, or will have the same choices, which is to either go for default, take a step up or step down. Please be very clear about stepping up or stepping down. In your interest, once when you say step up or step down, I will repeat it and then you can give the answer, right? But please lock your buzzers in within the first 15 seconds. If you decide to step up, you get 20 points. If you decide to step down, you get 5 points if you're correct. Default is 10, -10 for default if wrong, -20 for step up if wrong, and -5 for step down if wrong. Please remember to step up or step down before you actually give me the answer. Otherwise, there's default scoring. And remember, in this round, you won't see text of the question. You will only see visuals. By looking at the visuals, you know the answer. Hit the buzzer, wait for me to identify you, and then you can give me the answer. Right, 5 questions pending in the 11th Udaan Business Leadership Quiz. This is Triple Trouble, poised to be an absorbing, enthralling, exquisite encounter. Here is question number 1. Connect. On the buzzer first is Ayush from Ernst & Young. Ayush, what's your answer? Please unmute. Ayush, 3 seconds. Ayush, unmute. 3 seconds, Ayush. 2 and 1.
You hear me?
Yeah, now.
Yeah, so I'll say these are all a generic product name made into a brand name. So like you use post-it notes for every type of adhesive notes, and bubble wrap for every bursting, and then Scotch duct tape.
So whose trademarks are these?
Can you repeat?
Whose trademarks are these?
3M by. So
all of them?
I am sure about Scotch tape and post-it. I don't. Bubble wrap is by Sealed Air. A ski. Kawasaki. Ski would be by Kawasaki.
All right, I'll give that to you. That is well done. Ayush gets you a +10. These are all brand names that people use as generic names. Jet ski is something that you use for that water scooter. It's essentially a term that is a trademark of Kawasaki. Dumpster of Dempster Brothers. Scotch tape and post-it of 3M. Bubble wrap, as Ayush identified, of the Sealed Air Corporation. That's well done, Ayush. But you didn't decide to step up, so you get a +10. Right, so keep that in mind. I won't be reminding you every time as we move on to the next question for you now. Connect. 4 visuals. On the buzzer first is Rajarshi from Capgemini. Rajarshi, please unmute.
Yes, I will step up.
All right, what is your answer? Step up.
Yeah, these are the connectors. These are mobile tariffs by MTNL, Mahanagar Telephone Nigam Limited. So there's Dolphin, there's Garuda, and there's Trump. These were all prepaid plans by MTNL.
And what was the 4th one that you missed identifying?
Jadoo.
All right. Okay, your answer is MTNL. My question, Connect. All services offered by a company that attained Navratna status in 1997 is MTNL. That's brilliant, Rajarshi. Absolutely. Well done on stepping up as well. Gets you a +20 as a result. Right. Well done, Rajarshi. +20. This is indeed MTNL, a company that's sort of fallen out of favor amongst customers across the country. But that's the answer that I was seeking. 3 questions now remain. Yes, 3 questions remain. Here is number 3. So I've given you a zoomed in image. on the left of the top left part of the main image. So my question is, the Waves noise suppressor is a real-time noise reduction plugin which is unsurpassed for noise suppression in both indoor and outdoor environments with constant or modulating noise. It was unveiled in 2010 after what monotonous event that annoyed viewers globally? It was unveiled in 2010. On the buzzer is Shantanu from IIM Ahmedabad.
I would like to play the default value.
All right.
So I think this is the 2010 South Africa World Cup. So vuvuzelas were being used a lot in that World Cup. So in order to suppress that noise, I think this was launched.
Is correct. That's the answer. Well done. This is indeed the 2010 FIFA World Cup, which received widespread criticism for those unbearable vuvuzela noises. Iniesta's celebration was subdued by vuvuzelas. And in fact, everything that happened in that World Cup was subdued by vuvuzelas. So as a result of which, especially used in the television industry, this Waves noise suppressor is used to suppress ambient noises or anything that you don't want. You can just suppress them individually. That's well done. Paid for default there. Shantanu had an opportunity to take a step up, but perhaps he's waiting for a slog in the last two questions. That's well done. Shantanu gets you a +10 as a result of that answer. 2 questions remain. Here is number 4. She grew up. All right, it's Kapinjal already from TCS. Yes, Kapinjal.
Okay, so I know I would like to step up.
Step up. What is your answer? Don't hedge. Just give me the answer. What is the connect?
Correct would be soda bottle opener wala.
Is incorrect. -20 passes to team 3. Rabi.
Yeah, I will step up. This is Theo Brahma.
Why?
Because the food of God, okay, the particular cacao is called food of God, okay, from where this is Penaj Masani or somebody, okay, who has started this cafe kind of bakeries in Bombay called Theo Brahma. So Theo Brahma actually means food of gods, and those are cacaos as called Theo Brahma. From there, okay, took the name.
All right. My question: she grew up in Mumbai and then went to IIM Ahmedabad and OCLD. In Delhi in 2004, she opened her own venture in Kolaba, Mumbai. Her brand is named after this genus of flowering plants in the mallow family, which is also the core ingredient in her products. Serving food of the gods. What brand is she a founder of? Your answer is Theo Brahma. That is perfect. Of all the drama, of all the fabulous answers, of all the magic moments in the 11th Udaan Business Leadership Quiz, with that 20-pointer to Rabi Sankar Saha from Capgemini and a -20 to Kapinjal from TCS for saying soda bottle opener wala, gets you a negative. It all comes down to this. And in this moment, which way it is heading, your guess is as good as mine. We're all set now for the final question. On your screen, which font on the buzzer is Shantanu from IIM Ahmedabad? Shantanu, your answer is?
I'll say this is the quarantine font.
Is incorrect. Passes to Rajarshi from Capgemini. Rajarshi? Quick.
Yeah, no choice, so I'll step up.
Step up. What is your answer?
I'll say this is the Ubuntu font.
Passes to Ayush from Ernst & Young.
Yeah, I'll step up.
Step up. What is your answer?
I think there's a special font launched for the recent Dubai Expo.
So what is your answer?
So something Dubai Expo font. I don't know if it's a specific name they have, but.
Okay. Passes to Sampad.
I will step up too. So my answer will be Twitter font.
Is incorrect. I'll give points in this one to Ayush. My question was, Which font used to conduct the 11th Udaan Business Leadership Quiz? So it's a self-referential question. And that was launched in partnership with Microsoft, reflects modernity, and is inspired by a city. It is the first time a typeface created specifically for a city is integrated with Microsoft and available for free for users worldwide, which is why I decided to use it for this quiz as well. This is the Dubai font. Well done, Ayush. I'll give you points for that. You stepped up, you get a plus 20. Shantanu, you didn't step up, you didn't say anything. You get a minus 10. Rajarshi, you stepped up, you get a minus 20. Sampad, you get nothing because you were after Ayush, and Ayush gets points. Right? So Ayush, that's a plus 20. Rajarshi gets a minus 20, and Shantanu gets a minus 10. Well, that's it. What a beautiful answer there to bring curtains to a sensational season of Udaan. Was there a quiz more utterly ideal, more utopian, more ultimate in the recent life of quizzing in India? I am yet to come across. Oh well, what a delightful past 1 hour this. We will shortly see the final scores and identify the winners, but that'll have to wait. For now, I have a question for the audience. Right, audience, I hope you enjoyed the quiz that transpired in front of you. Time now for you to win some prizes as well. My question, I will spend my last dying breath if I need to, and I will spend every penny of Apple's $40 billion in the bank to right this wrong. I'm going to destroy blank because it is a stolen product. I'm willing to go to thermonuclear war on this. Now, this is a quote about which famous rival product of Apple did Steve Jobs threaten to go on thermonuclear war? That's the question. Now head to Twitter, give your answer under that very same question. Right, while you come back, looks like there is a tie for the second place. All right, so there is a tie for the second place. What drama? The drama continues. So I do have a question. And that tie is between last year's national runner-up, still competing for the national runner-up position, and Rabi Sankar Saha from Capgemini. Right, so there's a tie for the second place. Now here is my question. This is only for the two of you. I'll request the others to not hit the buzzer on this one. If you do, I will ignore you. It's only for Rabi or Ayush. You won't see it on screen. You hear it from me. If you think you know the answer, please unmute quickly and give me the answer. I stop reading the question immediately. Right, here is my question. My question is to Rabi as well as Ayush. Whoever gives the right answer gets a +1. Right, so as simple as that. Whoever gives the right answer gets a +1. My question is, the inventor of the eponymous object whose Japanese slogan is "a minute to learn, a lifetime to master." The inventor of the eponymous object whose Japanese slogan is "a minute to learn, a lifetime to master." On the buzzer first is Rabi Sankar Saha.
I will take a guess because so this is camera, Kodak camera.
All right, that's it. End of quiz. Thank you, both of you. We'll tell you the final scores in a bit. I will continue. All right, so at this point, yeah, so I hope everybody is back. If you didn't see it, we already conducted an audience question. So ladies and gentlemen, if you are back at this point, I feel fortunate in welcoming our guest of honor, Mr. S.V. Nathan, Partner and Chief Talent Officer at Deloitte India. Sir has over 35 years of experience in building and leading high performance teams. Sir is National President of National HRD Network. Sir, thank you for being here. We look forward to hearing your thoughts.
Good evening, everybody. It's kind of late in the evening on a Sunday, but the amount of energy that I have seen on this podium, and Ajay, you are just fantastic. I am so thrilled. Many, many years ago, I remember this wonderful city of Ranchi. I worked in a place very close to Ranchi, and we used to be manufacturing explosives. I was in a very well-known then explosives plant run by a very large British multinational. On a Saturday morning, I used to tell my friends, in a very beaming kind of way, they used to ask me, Nathan, you seem so happy today. What's what? And I used to tell them, Aaj hum shahar ja rahe hain. And at that time, Ranchi was the biggest city which was close to the place called Gomia, where I worked for over 8 years. Ranchi is a fantastic place. Many reasons. Imagine a place like Ranchi. Of course, don't forget it's got the greatest of Indian captains who came from Ranchi. Ranchi is fantastic because anything that they take up, they do an exceedingly good job of it. This national quiz started 11 years ago. And by the way, Ranchi is one of our smaller chapters. And yet, it's the only chapter which holds a national event 11 years on trot continuously. So, full marks to Ranchi, full marks to the chapter, full marks to every person who has really made sure that Ranchi really holds its flag flying high. I would also say that for the last few years, we have had Dr. Kamakshi Raman and her team spearheading this. It takes a lot of work. And the enthusiasm that I see on the call today, it's a Zoom call. The enthusiasm that I see in the participants, the winners, fantastic, what answers. And I've been on this and I'm completely floored. I'd like to say, what does a quiz really do? A quiz starts to get our brain cells to start to connect things, and if you didn't know an answer or came very close by to the right answer, there is a sense of thrill within us. For the participants who are on the dock, because they make it or break it, for them it's like a race to the finish. To each one of you, every one of you who have made it to the finals, a very big congratulations. It's not easy. Imagine going through several rounds and then coming up to the finals, full marks to you. I mean, I cannot tell you how happy I am just listening to the responses. People making, even when people say they're making wild guesses, they're not really making wild guesses. They're making wild connects, but they are pretty close to the answer. And it's not been easy for Ajay. And as a quiz master, sometimes you deny, sometimes you affirm. The way that you have handled this, Ajay, thank you so much. You are a quiz master par excellence. I can only say this. As I was listening to the quiz, there were a few that I could respond to. And it's a bit of a shame because in my college days, I used to be my quiz captain. And today, if I look at the quality of this quizzing that has happened, I would fall flat on my face. Back to where we started. Ranchi, thank you so much. NHRDN, from our national office, I want to take a moment to congratulate you. You have done this so many years, it's almost like second nature to you. But to do a national event and such a large scale, I can only say this, only Ranchi can pull this off. So to you and to your team, Kamakshi, thank you. And with this, back to the organizers. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so very much, sir. Thank you for all the appreciation and acknowledgement. And thank you, of course, for being here and sparing your valuable time and sharing with us your thoughts. Thank you, sir. And now it is time for the final declaration of scores. The scoreboard of the national final on your screen now. Before we take a look at who the top two are, there were, of course, certain participants who missed out on qualification, who missed out on being amongst the top two, but certainly they're all champions, they're all winners from their respective zones. So congratulations to each one of you. First, I'll tell you the names of the participants that missed out. for being amongst the top two. And like all of us saw, that there was a tiebreaker for that second place that we had to play. So first, the ones that missed out, Subhasish with a score of -10. Well done, however, Subhasish. Congratulations for qualifying into the national final. That's yet again, you're carrying the tag of a multiple-time national finalist. Then it was Sampad Mishra, a multiple-time national champion in the offline editions. Unfortunately, it wasn't quite his day. He misses out as well. Then we have Shantanu Sharma from IIM Ahmedabad. Fabulous performance in the West Zone round. You qualified from there. Perhaps national final turned out to be a little too difficult. Then, of course, also to Rajarshi, who qualified alongside Shantanu from West Zone. This is where it ends for you, but very well done for reaching this stage. And also to Kapinjal from TCS, finishing with a score of -5. Congratulations and very well done to you as well for reaching the national final. And now, my question was, an eponymous invention is basically having a certain slogan in Japan. Rabi pounced on it and he said Kodak. Unfortunately for Rabi, that isn't the answer. The eponymous invention in question was Rubik's Cube by somebody who doesn't belong to Japan. So my question was, in Japan, their slogan is, I didn't say that it's a Japanese company, but Rabi was too keen on the buzzer. He went for it, unfortunately gave a wrong answer. As a result, he finishes. He's been a second runner-up previously at Udaan. He's a second runner-up at Udaan this time as well. But now for the winners, starting with second place, national runner-up last year in 2020, national runner-up this year. Fabulous performance there from Ayush Awasthi of Ernst & Young. Prize of 35,000, sponsored by MD India. Right, and our winner with that fabulous start off the blocks. Was there ever a doubt that we'll have a different winner? Such class, such consistency, such a champion from Chennai, TCS. This is Jayakanthan. Well, congratulations, Jayakanthan. You are winner for the 11th Udaan Business Quiz. But the way you started out and the way you ended were poles apart. You started out very strong, but towards the end, it was just about 10 points difference between you and Ayush as the first runner-up. Well, that's it. The quality of the contest was evident with some of those fine answers that we received from our participants. So one final time, thank you to all our sponsors. The Udaan Business Quiz is presented by Steel Authority of India Limited, National HRD Network Ranchi Chapter, and National HRD Network. Our associate sponsor is NTPC Limited. Zonal sponsors of the North Zone round was Tata Communications. Sponsors of the East Zone round was Tata Communications, and the North Zone round was SMS Group. Our national prize sponsors were Hexagon, who sponsored the winner's prize won by Jayakanthan from TCS, and first runner-up, the prize won by Ayush Awasthi from Ernst & Young, was sponsored by MD India. And zonal prize sponsors were UPRNNL and Sarvesh Refractory. So congratulations to all the winners of Udaan. I am indeed speaking to Jayakanthan and Ayush Awasthi and to the winners of the audience prizes as well. Well done to all of you. So with a heavy heart, I bid goodbye to each and every one of you. Duly grateful to all those who contributed with great passion and unrelenting desire to see Udaan succeed. The organizing team, thanks to Kamakshi Madam, Shrimant Malik from SAIL, MTI and his team, and Mr. Dhananjay and his team from National HRD Network, Animesh, who brought in all this presentation, this technology portal to you, and Ankit, my colleague, who did all the back-end management, and all the sponsors, and above all, the participants and viewers, without whom this event would never have been a success. I hope these quizzes were a cause of happiness in your life. Goodbye, Merry Christmas, and a very, very Happy New Year. May this new year bring you joy, laughter, and lots of recycled WhatsApp forwards. Good night. See you next year.